10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome.
Emotional regulation is keeping your composure to be able to receive negative feedback or criticism without being triggered. It's required if we're going to have great communication. Because without composure, without emotional regulation, we are going to react in a negative way, and we're going to react based on defense and emotion and not logic, not rationale, not even solution. So if we're acting on defense now, I don't even care what you're saying. You trigger me, I don't care what you're saying. I don't care if it's logical, if it makes sense. All I care about now, I'm in defense mode, right? So now I'm far away from the problem. And I think that in order to have great communication, we need to be able to understand that we got to be able to emotionally regulate ourselves.
All right. Welcome to the Unspoken Heart Discussion Hour. We are talking nothing about real life situations and nothing but the raw. Make sure you share, because this is going to be something very educational. As you know, we are speaking today on emotional regulation. We're going to go ahead and give you the definition of it, which is emotional regulation. It's the ability to understand, influence, manage one's emotions in order to respond appropriately to challenges and demands of life. Regulating emotions can be applied by adjusting your feelings, intensity, and duration so it won't overwhelm or control you. Now, make sure y'all tune in next Friday as the men of Grown Men Talking will be coming to your screen with One Night versus One Wife. Hey, if you want to know what's going on with that there, hey, you got to tune in, set that notification, because I'm going to tell you the way the men going to bring it, you ain't going to want to miss it. Also, make sure you tune in next Saturday as Miss Keisha will be hosting next week's topic, Why Am I Not the Magnet? This is very interesting and is very knowledgeable with the way she's going to bring it. So make sure y'all tune in live. Now, before we get started, we're going to go ahead and bring in our host, Mr. Dwight Robinson.
Hey. Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope you got your snacks going on because, it's going to be something else. Yeah,
you got your snack going on over there?
Yeah, I got me a couple of stuff on the floor right here.
Okay. Yeah. You switched up from the crazy water because I know you used to always have the crazy water on there.
Well, this water is crazy. It's made in Texas, so we already know it's crazy.
Yeah, so, that's some crazy water.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
And next, we're going to go ahead and bring in our motivational speaker, Mr. Reyes.
Hey, happy Saturday, everybody. Happy Saturday.
All right. Are you ready?
If I ain't ready, I better get ready.
Also joining with us is our special guest and also inspirational poet of 2025, Miss Symbolic Soul herself.
Hey, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining in with us.
I'm happy to be here.
So I'm very happy to be here.
So as you've seen in the video, you've seen exactly what he was describing. And when it comes down to emotional regulation, what is your feeling about the video and what he said and your own perspective when you say emotional regulation? Des.
Well, for me personally, emotional regulation is, basically having control over myself. And I noticed in the video where he says, it's to be able to accept criticism. But to me, it's just just being able to control myself, period, control my emotions, period, so that I don't go off the deep edge, you know. And I regulate my emotions with medication.
Mm.
Hey, everybody got their own tool they got to use. Hey, sometimes it's medication, sometimes it's just some skills that you learn.
I mean,
And
it ain't bad medication. It's just yeah.
ooh, baby. Ooh,
Oh, have mercy.
what was your feeling about what you heard in that video there? And then give your own perspective on what you feel that emotional regulation means.
Well, I'm just gonna piggyback on my boy Dez, but you know, you have to learn to kind of keep yourself, you know, calm in certain situations. Like I said yesterday on the show, I'm trying to be like Mr. Spock. I don't know who y'all know that is. If you can make yourself like Mr. Spock, you know, he said emotionals and irrational. If y'all know what that is, watch Mr. Spock. Mr. Spock, he don't let those emotions get to him. He's cool, the coolest man in space. I want to be like that. I ain't trying to get all heated up or riled up, or if I could be like Mr. Spock, it's all good.
Okay, we give you that. We give you that. So we know we got a strong Star Trek fan on here. So
Yeah, that's right, Mr. Spock.
He's a Trekkie.
Yeah, you said that.
so that means you watched every episode, right?
Hey, look, yeah, and let me tell you, Captain Kirk, you know, that's my boy, but Spock is one of the reasons why I watched that show. That's my boy, Mr. Spock.
Okay, so he was your favorite one.
That's our favorite one. If I can be like that, woo! You don't let his emotions.
So what about Star Trek?
What about Star Trek? There wouldn't be no Star Trek were for no Mr. Spock. I'm telling you.
No, Star Wars is what I meant.
Star Wars. I mean, I ain't got nothing against Star Wars. They all right, but Mr. Spock is the boy.
Okay.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. As a kid, you know, I had a crush on Lieutenant Hoover too. So yeah, I that's another reason why.
I heard a lot of guys did.
Oh yeah, I was one of them. Yeah.
Now, Miss Symbolic Soul, after watching that and what he was saying about emotional regulations, what is your opinion? And then also give us your perspective on what you feel that emotional regulation is.
Oh yeah, my opinion. I really like the video. Because I think it's very important for a man to be able to control his emotions. Because the man is supposed to be the leader, right? And so would be the one that would lead. And I think when it comes to our black men, I feel like they need to learn how to control their emotions, because women are looking for safe spaces sometimes. And when you find a man is emotionally intelligent, we understand, and we may look at him like, oh, he could be a good leader, if that makes sense.
I never thought about it like that. Never thought about that.
When she said that, you know what I'm saying, girl? I like that. Yeah.
Well put.
I like that.
So I agree with all of y'all, and I feel like when it comes down to emotional regulation, that it to me when I hear the word, it's more or less like learning and knowing how to control your emotions. With like they say, it's a time and a place for everything. It's the way that your approach will determine your response. So it's the same thing as emotional regulation. You got to know how to handle your emotions in order to control the environment. So could y'all give me some examples in your own words? And I'm going to go to Symbolic first. What does your emotions do for you? What are some of the things that emotions does?
Oh, they get results. Oh, is how I control them though, like the result that I might get. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm in a situation where I'm trying to negotiate, if I go from 0 to 100, 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna win that negotiation. So, but if I take my time and myself and control what is happening in that moment, then I'm winning.
Yes. Because Symbolic, they say that women are the most emotional creatures. So me, in my opinion, I'm going to just be honest. I feel like a lot of women don't know how to regulate their emotions because they so caught up within that emotional
Mhm.
sense. So, and Dwight,
That's where the man comes.
Yeah. Spicy, to be honest with you, I'm not, I can't speak for everybody, especially the men. I always been a cool kind of calm person with my emotions. I kind of keep my emotions under check. Uh, I just don't let stuff. I mean, I don't really let stuff get to me. You have to do. I mean, for something for me to lose my cool, it had to be something big and drastic. But I always keep them in check, and that's why when somebody said, the men have to be the lead, and some of the issues I was in, I had to be the one to calm her down. Like, look, okay, but I'm not yelling, so why are you yelling? I mean, the neighbors can't hear what I'm saying. They can definitely hear you, but you have to learn to keep them in check. You can think better. You can, just like the guy said in the video, because if you lose it, then you're not trying to hear what the other person's saying. You thinking about tick for tack. So it's good to try to keep your emotion in check, and I thank God for that because I see a lot of people that lose their emotions, and it goes from like Pastor Monica said, it goes from 0 to 6 or 0 to 100. So I just thank God I keep mine in the check. Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yeah.
And personally, I could say, I never seen him get mad, but one time I even get mad then, he still, it wasn't a raising the voice.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't criticizing. He just straight up,
Yeah.
I'm not doing this with you.
I'm not doing it with you. Nope.
Yeah, and Mr. Dez.
Well, I mean, like when I think of emotions, I know it's the same thing, but I'll be like, I try to stay out of my feelings because if I get in my feelings about something, I'm not going to be able to think clearly. It puts a cloud over my thought process. So I try to steer clear of that. Only time I really even try to deal with feelings and emotions is when I'm on stage, when I'm, when I'm in a play. Other than that, I just, I'm kind of like Mr. Dwight. I lay back. I don't want to go there with you. I just hit
Right.
the mute. I just hit the mute button on you and ignore you because
Mm-hmm.
I know me is there's no what you say. There's no middle ground. I'm either there or I'm not. And I know it's with me sometimes when it comes to my emotions or my feelings, I'm all gas, no brakes. So it's how you got the good twin on one shoulder and the evil twin on the other shoulder. When I
Mhm.
get when I get into my feelings, that evil twin just knocked the good twin off the shoulder and stick right here in the middle. So I stay away from it. It's like when I feel somebody getting into their feelings when they dealing with me, just like Mr. Dwight, it's like I ain't going there with you. I'm that's my cue. Exit stage left even because I
That's right.
know me. If I do not regulate my emotions by leaving you alone or not listening to you, you're going to irritate me and we're going to have a serious problem. So therefore, I choose to have what they call a woosah moment.
Mhm. And that's why, some people, they had made me sick. I've changed a lot. I had to actually ask God to help me because I couldn't do it on my own, especially when you're going through trauma. It's hard for you to regulate the emotion because, like I said, women are the most emotional creatures. And men, they tend to hold it in until that moment of explosion. But they also hold it in, don't say nothing because of the fact that I'm not going to argue with you. And so, I used to do that, get emotional at first. But as I got older, I'm like, I ain't doing nothing but hurting myself. It's not getting anywhere. So it's like, what's the point? So it's like I had to go through some sessions to learn how to control those emotions
Mm-hmm.
because, I was so overwhelmed to where I didn't know how to regulate it. So, we'll get into certain ways of doing it, but we'll say like when it comes down to emotions and what they do for us, what their purpose is, help motivate us to action, help us communicate with each other, which is like symbolic soul said on a certain sense. Body language and facial expressions are a reflection in how we feel. So if you, even though I know some people tell me like, oh, we knew you was pissed off. And I tried to regulate it, but they was like, it's a certain way you do your eyebrows, it's a certain way your eyes, they go in a direction. But it's like I had to learn how to regulate, but it's like, you touching the nerve, so stop. And then it's tones. The tone sends stronger messages than we use. It also gives a sense of our environment, which means like a gut feeling. And those are the different things that involve with emotions. So Amber say, I regulate my emotions by, what is that?
Compartmentalizing.
Yes. So, it's, for somebody to say, oh, you need to control your mind, it's not that easy all the time. Sometimes you have to seek out for help. Sometimes you got to take that moment because, we talk about self before we talk about relationships. Because one thing we don't understand, we can allow our emotions to do certain things of destruction. And when I say that, Dwight, what comes to your head when you say, when you can't regulate your emotions, what sort of destruction can it cause?
It can cause a lot of it can cause like I said, I live by experience, and when like I said, I in my relationships I was basically the one that kept things on. I don't know why. It's spicy. I kind of got with, like you said, and I'm not saying all women. I'm like, how the one I keep getting the ones that go off the shelves? Why I get the ones that blow up like a volcano, poosh, all over the place? I'm like,
because you gotta look at, and I had to look at myself, like, and I was like, why am I a magnet to the wrong men?
Well, see that we gotta see. We
gotta look at your magnet.
Well, I guess because there's a time and place for everything, and I'll just give you a prime example. It almost got not just her but us in some serious trouble because she let her emotions get. And I'm there, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, just chill. That's something, and it was something so small and petty, but her emotions just over. It's just like a raging river, and I'm trying to, I'm like, just chill. Well, you should be talking. You should be with me on this. I said, no, because it's nothing to go off about. It's something just it was just a little thing, and you just go like zero from 0 to 60 to where it comes to the point where we almost having to throw down in the place with some other people. And people don't understand those emotions can run that far to where, and I'm not saying all women, but some ladies get out of pocket, and then they man trying to escalate the thing, and the next thing you know, he's laying there dead because of your emotions. And that's, to me, it's dangerous. You gotta put that in check. Now I did one thing. It takes a lot to get me mad. But when that was over, I put her in check. I said, you're not going to get me out there. You can get yourself killed because that was just stupid. You ain't getting me killed out here today, but you got to put there. It's time to let it's time for everything. And for that little simple thing, you just went too far with it. I know I need to work on it. You damn right. And that means you got to go get some help. Psychiatry do that because that's just not cool. You know what I'm saying? And it affects you in so many ways. You gotta learn to control those emotions.
Exactly. And I totally agree with that. And Des, what sort of destruction do you think by not regulating your emotions can cause?
I think without regulating your emotions, you're inviting in toxic situation because you're not, like I said, I can't speak for nobody else, but when I'm not able to regulate my emotions, I know that I don't think clearly, and I'll be the first one to be quick to start an argument if I don't regulate my emotions. And like you said, that's not healthy for you because all you're doing is just causing more stress upon yourself. That's going to lead to hypertension, high blood pressure, and things of that nature. You open yourself up for a heart attack if you don't regulate your emotions like that. Because like I said, what you're doing is you're just inviting in negative energy into your what I call your sphere. you letting that negative energy come in. So you have to be able to find some type of way to regulate that emotion, be it breathing, meditation, just, and people may look at you crazy, but talk to yourself about the situation that you're in. If you talk it out in your head, or talk it out loud. But you have to be able to regulate your emotions, because all you're doing is just inviting negative energy into you, and that's not good for you.
Right on. That's right.
And before we go to break, we're going to ask Miss Symbolic, what is your feeling when it comes down to, if you cannot regulate your emotions, in your opinion, what kind of destruction can it cause?
It can cause major destructions. Like, I think it would be hard for a person to maintain relationships, whether that's romantic, whether that's a friendship. It's like it would be hard for you to maintain that relationship because you can't control your emotions. So then, with you not being able to control your emotions, you would want to place the blame on somebody else or react every time. You gonna always, just like I said before, you're gonna go from 0 to 100, and a person is still at 1 and you're all the way at 100, so nobody really want to deal with that. So they're going to be like, oh no, I can't have you in my environment and in my space.
Yes, I agree. I agree. And I say this, it's like, when we come back, I'm gonna get my answer to this here. But let's go ahead and go to our first break. Let's see what Miss Ma'am have to say here from the conversation of the podcast right after this.
Emotional intelligence is not just by how you process and respond to your negative emotions. You can respond to your positive emotions, and you can process your positive emotions in a way that is not conducive to a healthy relationship. Also, you can respond in a way that is simply based on temporary emotion that has long-term consequences. I think there's a misconception about having high EI or high EQ. I think people believe it's simply just how you respond, and that's not simply the case. Like, how do you manage those emotions? Not just for negative emotions, but positive ones as well. So, real life example, you're dating someone new, you're getting to know this person. You have not tested your compatibility with this person. You haven't taken the time to get to know their character, but you feel good. They make you feel good. They make you feel seen. They make you feel happy. These are all feelings that typically show up when there is a new connection with somebody. Natural, right? And you start creating all of these ideas. You start wanting to perform. You start wanting to do everything for them. You start telling your friends, oh, I really think this person is into me. I like this person. We only got to know each other 2 times. We've only been on 2 dates. Things like that. This person is the person for me. And you start doing certain things that can be damaging in the long term. You start showing certain tendencies that can be damaging. You set yourself up because you are feeling temporary positive emotions. And sometimes they're simply just temporary. And so you're feeling these positive emotions and you're being impulsive. Now you're wanting to do and go above and beyond. Now you want to rush things and things like that without regulating even those positive emotions to be able to process and understand if they are valid to the situation, if they're sticking. Self-awareness and managing your emotions is a part of emotional intelligence, but not just for the negative emotions and feelings. Remember, positive emotions and feelings can have negative consequences as well if you're reacting or you're responding to those, or if they're causing impulsivity to show up.
All right. Make sure y'all tune in next week as a Grown Men Talking Incorporated return to you screens on next Friday on One Night Versus One Wife. Hey, you got to tune in to find out what they got to say about this in their opinion. Also, make sure you tune in as Miss Keisha returns to the screen, and she will be hosting the topic on why am I not the magnet? You want to know what that's about? Where Aim's gonna go? Make sure you tune in. Now, before we left, what I was going to say was when we talk about destruction, is that I tell people all the time, you know, and my kids will tell you, if I know you coming from a dark place or a negative place, and you send all these text messages, I'm not reading them. If you call me blowing up my phone, I'm not going to listen. If you said leave a voice message, I'm not going to leave, because to me, that's a way for me to control, regulate my emotions, because I feel like the negativity that you're sending or what you're trying to get out of me, you're not to control my emotions. I control these emotions. So to keep from that being fed into me mentally and emotionally, I'm not going to read it. And that's just the way it goes. If you upset about something, just know Spice ain't reading it. That's just the bottom line. So, Des, what is your opinion on the video of Miss Kitty that we just viewed a while ago?
I agree with what she was saying, you know, because a lot of times, you know, not all emotions are negative. That you do have to be able to know how to receive the positive emotions as well. Because if you don't know how to receive the positivity, you won't know how to deal with the negative aspect of it. Because I agree with what she's saying, because you do, when somebody is making you feel good, they're making you feel happy, you do have a tendency, it does something for you on the inside. It kind of gives you a light at the end of the tunnel, and it puts a little pep in your step. But when you get nothing but negative energy from somebody, not being able to filter that, or know how to regulate the negativity that they send in your way, that's going to cause you harm as well. So I agree with her. You do have to be able to express and receive the positivity that comes your way when it comes to your emotions.
Love it. And symbolic.
Yeah, I agree as well. And also I feel like, when we do first get into a relationship with somebody, um, that relationship is not really tested until you can see how they handle their emotions, basically. So you can be with them and it could be giving you gifts and showering you with love, and which is love bombing. I learned that, right? And then, but if you're not able to test them in an emotional situation, then you don't truly know who that person is or how they will handle you, basically.
Mm, yes. And Mr. Dwight.
Yeah, I agree with both of them, because it's right. You just don't know with the other energy. You just, and I'm all about energy. I'm about good positive energy, and you have to take the good with the bad. But when it's just like, I hate to use it, like it's just like you getting it's when they when you happy and you in this so-called relationship, and you really just getting to know that person. You truly don't know them just yet until you really get to know them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you like, why did I see this at first? God dang, because you was all up in that positive energy. Now you getting that other type of energy. It don't, that person just don't look so good no more. But yeah, I, that's the way it is. And I just have to say that Dez and somebody gave some good pointers, and I agree with both of them on that.
Yes.
Mhm.
Now, do you think, even within a relationship, that by not regulating your emotions, you could fall too quick into a situation and set yourself up for failure? And explain why. This.
Well, yeah, I think if you just dive right in, you may just be setting yourself up for failure, because by the time you come back up to the surface, you're gonna realize that, whoa, this ain't what I thought it was. But by then, it just may be a little too late. So I treat it like going to the pool. You don't just jump in the pool. You put your feet in first. Get your feet wet first. Take your time. Let your body readjust to the temperature of the water before you just jump in and shell shock yourself.
Love it. And Mr. Dwight.
You know what, Spicy? It's crazy because we all been through this, and it's right because I ain't gonna lie, because I'm like, well, everything going good, and every sudden I'm like, I feel like I was in the twilight zone. I'm like, what happened? I'm in the twilight zone because this person, this ain't what I was expecting, and it just threw me for a loop. It was a complete nightmare, but like I was just thought I was in a nice dream, and then it ended up being in the nightmare that just wouldn't end, literally wouldn't end. So you just gotta be aware of that, because we, like I said, we all got different stories, and we all been there, and it's a rude awakening. A rude awakening.
Yes. It makes symbolic.
Yeah, I agree too as well in with the white, right? Like you get into this relationship and just speaking about me personally, like that was a time where um it was the lust that was like what had me not test somebody by their emotions, right? So
Mm-hmm.
realized that I attracted emotionally unavailable men, but also emotional men, right? Which was crazy when I thought about that, because it's like, how could you be emotional, but then you emotionally not available? But then I realized sometimes that comes from your childhood growing up. So that's like a trauma response, so some of us operate like that to keep ourselves in safety, right? But it's like, if you're so busy trying to control your safety and everything like that, how are you able to give what you're supposed to give to your partner? You see?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Powerful. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Now I wanted to go back to a comment that was made by Miss Amber Smith, and tell me what y'all think about. What's your opinion on this? She says arguments can stem from non-regulated emotions.
Very much so. They very much so, because if you got if the emotions aren't regulated, you got one person that's rah 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 rah, and you're like Mr. White said, where did this come from? You're
Mm-hmm.
going to get that's going to irritate you because you know for a fact that you ain't done nothing, but this person just keeps on coming for you, just bringing all of these negative emotions and feelings for you, and you like, at some point you're going to be like, you know what, it's time to fight fire with fire,
Yeah.
because that some people, the odd part about, to me, some people, they don't understand it, like they don't understand you or get you
What
or
is this?
even
I
take
have
you.
a business on my show.
Huh?
No, I'm
Oh,
talking
oh.
back now. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I thought I muted.
So no, what was I
I heard
saying?
it.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. So some people, they don't get it if you're not yelling at them. It's like, for example, I was watching a video, and it was a football coach, and he was like, "Why do you cuss?" And the parents was like, "Why do you cuss at these kids? Why do you cuss at these kids?" And he was like, "They don't understand anything else." And he proved his point. He told them, "Hey y'all, come and get this food. It's time to eat. It's time to eat." And they just kept doing what they was doing. But as soon as he said, "Bring y'all ass on, get on up here. I'm tired of y'all. Get y'all ass up here and get something to eat," they stopped what they was doing. They turned around and started walking to get food. And he turned to the camera and he was like, "See, that's why I do what I do." You know, because and I just use that as an example. Some people don't understand being calm, and when you talk to them, sometimes you have to get emotional just to get their attention.
Wow.
Damn. Yeah.
And that's funny he said that. And I had to yell at them in the background.
See, you see, that's
Yeah.
a
I think
live
Spicy got
example.
her emotions.
I
Yeah,
think
because like I said at the beginning, y'all respect what I do. Be quiet
Yeah.
during the thing, but then during it, you doing all this. No.
I was gonna say, Spicy, don't let them break you. Don't let them break you now.
See now that was a prime example of non-regulated emotions.
Don't let them break you, bro. Keep it
Yeah,
together now.
and Miss K. Marie, hello, dear. She says sometimes doing nothing is something.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
says a lot in a short sentence.
Well, yeah, because that's true. You know, see, Spice, it might be something similar to that because I ain't gonna mention the girl's name, but she used to do things to try and get emotions out of me. And even though I do it, she purposely trying to get me into my emotions to where I almost broke. And she said, the reason why I won't do it, like I won't see you act a certain way because it'll just turn me on. And I'm looking at her like, well, then you should have got one of those guys that can give you all the emotion you want. You trying to take me to a certain point because you say it turns you on. What? Are you serious? You know what I'm saying? But see, the thing is, she dated these type of dudes. I wasn't those type. We was the opposite because I wasn't those type of dudes that get like that. But she wanted to take me there. She wanted to take me there. Came close, but I kept it together. So just saying.
Well, I agree. I can see where you know where she says that sometimes doing nothing can doing nothing can start something because you know I'm one of them people. Sometimes you can be coming at me left, right, sideways, up, down, and I'll just sit there like Mr. White say, just like Mr. Spock, looking at you like, are you done? Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? And I've noticed that a lot of times, like she said, just sitting there and not even responding provokes an even deeper response out of that person by not saying anything to them, not feeding into the negativity. You know, and to me, I kind of use that as the tactic and the tool. Okay, you can go ahead, bro. Get it off your chest. Get it off your chest. Yeah, say get it out. Get it out. I'm just not gonna be there with you.
So, that's right. Now, what are some ways that you can manage these emotions? Because as you know already, we didn't say that it could cause you to have certain illness. It could do certain things to your body. You know, so what are some things that they could do in order to manage these type of, which is same thing as regulating these emotions?
I look at it like it's like watching a movie, right? And you can right. So when you hit pause, you can jump out of that scene and basically see how it might play out by you saying, okay, I'm gonna react like I'm reacting from trauma. That's my trauma response. Then I do something different, rather than how I normally would do it. And then instead of being angry, I would just pause and take a second, probably walk away, pray, ask God, you know, to give me the words to say to this person, how I can comfort them in this moment, or how I can de-escalate the situation, basically.
Yeah.
Love it. And Mrs. White.
Well, my way is like exercising. You know, exercising, walking, something that you enjoy doing. If it's poetry, painting, to do that. But once again, the lady I at one time many moons ago was dating, she said sex is to help her with her emotions. Yeah, so I was like a sex tool to help her with her emotions. That's what she told me. I did, and I did my best.
And you really enjoyed that part, didn't you?
Oh yeah, somebody got to do it. It was my job to do it.
He said it was his job. You hear that, dance? He said it's his job.
It was my job. It kept her calm. It controlled those emotions for a while, boy. It was peace. Oh, it helped both of us. Yeah, it helped both of us.
I hear you. I hear you. You know, a lot of people don't understand how serious it is, but they'll say, well, I just get aggravated and I can't take it no more. But some of the tools that you can do is meditation.
Yeah.
Get into meditation, the breathing exercises, meaning that, like I tell people, you don't allow nobody to control your emotions. Well, they're not controlling my emotions. If they can get you upset and they can get a reaction out of you, they are controlling your emotions.
That part.
You can take control of your own emotions. That's why I say the part where I don't need to read the text messages or answer calls, because I control this. And nobody going to regulate nothing over here. So, certain things like meditation, and I think somebody mentioned earlier about getting counseling, or somebody that been there, done that, and know how to deal with it. Speaking to somebody like that, not somebody that has the same problem, because a lot of people do that, blind leading the blind.
Yeah.
Now, it's okay somebody then been there, and then they healed from it, and they know how to deal with it and control it, and overcame that hurdle. Okay, then you could talk to that person. They could actually help guide you in the right direction in order for you to have a healthy mental status, emotional status, whatever it takes. So, these are certain tools that you can take. Like with me, I took counseling. They gave me the tools that I needed, but then I was sitting back, okay, now counseling is over. What am I to do? And I had to find ways in trying to control it, because it's not for everyone, and I'm not telling everybody, and nobody get off of medication, but some of these medications they issuing is making you actually sicker. Or it's just a band-aid for the problem.
Yeah.
That's the thing. A lot of times, medication. I know people who are different when they're on their medication not taking.
Yeah, you was muffling for. There you go. You was muffling for a minute. We didn't get that.
Sometimes some people can be on their meds, but then there's a difference when they're not taking. Because a lot of times the medication, they kind of make you docile. They take you out of your normal state of mind, and they put you in a place where you're just calm and collected. But that's not healthy for you, because there's still side effects coming along with that. You're still having the same issues, and like even when I had to go through my anger management and talking to the learning about myself, the things that I learned while in order to regulate it was to not let stuff stay on me so long. For example, not letting deck stack up, because at some point in time, the whole deck.
Yeah. See if you turn your mic down a little bit. See if that'll help with the muffling.
It definitely will stack up.
Yeah, it do. I agree. But I just seen two comments that I want us to go to, because I think Amber Smith was addressing to Dwight. And y'all tell me what y'all feel about this. She said sex can lead to unregulated emotions, especially when sex is being had under emotion. Wow.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Yeah. It can definitely. I agree with that, because, and the thing about it, if I didn't give in to her, it made it worse. Her emotions, just if it just was like somebody say it went from 0 to 100. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it could be because it's like because I ain't gonna lie, Spice. I think the girl was just a super freak, and
she probably had a sexual problem.
Exactly.
But some people do take their emotions, especially when they went through trauma in life.
Well, yeah,
especially like, okay, I feel like that's all they want from me. So that's
what I feel like, because every time, and look, I got the receipts. Every time you turn around, one time I think I was on the show, I told y'all she threw everybody out the house. Got mad because she wanted that cookie. I said, girl, we having the party. I said, when the party's over, then you get your snack.
Yeah, but did you ever think that by fulfilling her regulated emotion through intimacy was gonna make her? And I'm thinking about that TikTok video. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, she said, "No, you make me crazy." Did you ever at any point feel like, okay, me giving into this power that she wanted to use through regulating her emotions was gonna make the problem worse?
You know what? It did get worse, because I wouldn't. When she was so emotional about this certain things about us doing stuff, and I didn't give in. It got worse. It went, like I said. It was just ridiculous, because basically all I thought was that's all we do. Get up, eat, and and suck the life out of my soul. I mean,
you sit up here giving into this appetite of hers because
well,
that's the
yeah,
only way
and you know what's
she
nice?
can deal with her emotions.
Part
And
of
then
it's
you
my
got
fault.
somebody standing over you, looking at you all crazy while you sleep, or
Well,
standing by the bathroom door while you sitting on the toilet.
see, yeah, you know that back there. I mean, I call them to now. I'm pretty sure if anybody on this panel, I don't know if y'all experienced that. If somebody gonna wait at the bathroom door for you to get out, I'm like, what you doing? I'm gonna wait for you to get out the bathroom. Okay, I'm in the bathroom. Well, I mean, what you sit? You literally got a chair and sit the chair by the bathroom door.
Only thing that do that to me is my dog.
I mean, that was crazy. I mean, you know what? I mean, and I was calm and cool and collected, but it was like I was that good to control that emotion when she got out of whack. I mean, that's no different than somebody smoking and drinking. It was just sex with her, you know. Ooh, my emotion, I need to calm down. Okay, come on, girl, let's get you straight.
And on that note, we're gonna go to break. We'll be right back with emotion regulation right after this. What you say, Dwight?
And two, y'all.
Two.
Just cannot regulate their emotions, but they have ways around this. See, they can drown out those emotions by engaging in toxic and impulsive behavior like random and reckless sexual encounters, or irresponsible gambling, or addictions to things like drugs, alcohol, and pornography. But they also have another dark method of offloading their pain, and that's by dumping it on you. See, that's how somebody can not like you and not even know you. That's how somebody can verbally abuse you and you haven't done anything to warrant that behavior. That's how that toxic family member, that spouse or that partner can walk into the house already hot because of something that happened out in the world, and they're just looking for any reason to put hands on you. So you're not walking on eggshells because you keep doing something wrong. You're on edge because any slight inconvenience they face is magnified and forced onto you. Now, we can't control their toxic outbursts, but we can control who has access to us. So y'all be careful out there, because these narcs out here narking. Till next time, peace.
Make sure y'all tune in next Friday as the Grown Men Talking Incorporated come to your screens with a very interesting topic. One night versus one wife. Hey, y'all already seen how our men are. You never know how they're going to bring it, so make sure you set that notification. Also, Miss Keisha will be back in the house as she will be on Grown Women of Views and Vibes, speaking on a topic on why am I not the magnet? Now, we talk about being a magnet to certain things. So, hey, tune in here. You may find out why you're not the magnet or why you are a magnet to certain things or people. Wow. He said
Okay, I got I couldn't hold it.
What, you got to go to the bathroom?
No. Look, no, that's a very, very sensitive subject with me because that irritates me so much when somebody tries to take out their problems on you. They like you said, they're dumping it, you know, and I've had to tell people several times, look, first of all, what I'm going to need you to do is redirect your transgressions in the direction of the individual that caused that, because I was not him. You know, and people do that a lot, and some people do it and not realizing that they doing it. They just doing it out of nature because it's like secondhand smoke. It's just there. Somebody will irritate him, like you said. They at work all day. They boss getting on their nerves. And as soon as they come through the door, the first person they see, which just may happen to be you, everything that you've done, even though all you said is, hey, how you doing? everything that you did was wrong, and it just amplifies and multiplies it, and they release on you. And sometimes when people do that to us, it inadvertently puts us in a place to where we're not comfortable because we don't know how to regulate that. You know, so I get what he's saying 100% on that video. I'm sorry, y'all. That one, that one touch home. That one touch home with me, boy. Ooh, that just irritates me. Ain't no way you gonna sit up here and come home and fuss at me over something I didn't do. I ain't do it. So why are you taking this out on me? And I mean, it gets me. It gets breathe.
Woosah.
It really, I mean, that's one of my that's one of those pet peeves that I have, that it just it do something to me. It gets something. I'm going to let somebody else talk because I'm just getting heated just thinking about it.
It irks my nerve because my thing is like this. Only because you're annoyed, only because you're frustrated, only because you're mad about something, you don't know how to regulate that emotion. You're not taking that out on me. I do it for you. And if I'm talking to you in a kind and respectful way, I deserve the same in return. That's just the bottom line. You know, that's why when it comes down to it, when I'm in certain emotions, I separate myself from everybody because I don't want to take it out of nobody that don't deserve it. And see, that's one or two. Just like my thing is like when he snitched about gambling, I never thought about that. Regulating your emotions through gambling. Doing certain things. How we know, like fishing or, you know, playing ball. You know, it's like things I didn't think of. Yeah, regulate. People can regulate their emotions. Like when we're writing, you know, we got poets up here. I tell a person every time when they say, "Oh, I'm too upset," or I'm just not, you know, I'm just frustrated. That's the best piece to write.
Yeah, best time to write.
Because you put everything and you take in that emotion and you regulate it into that paper. So that words there, that's the emotions right there. So
yeah, poetry has saved many of people's lives.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
Yeah, it got me out of a lot of situations. So, I'm not gonna go there. K. Marie said he's getting emotional.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Y'all look,
there's nothing wrong with it. You know, we saw you getting a little emotion. Spicy got a little emotion on the show. Hey, that's
just like him is a pet peeve.
Yeah.
Is, you know, I know people don't go by zodiacs, but me being like a Scorpio, we tolerate so much. And the thing is, we're not going to sit there and continue to argue with you. They're going to come a point to where either we're going to turn away or we just going to disappear out your life without you even realizing it. And by the time you realize it, we were already gone.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when I tell a person, you know, I'm 54 years old now. I ain't got time for arguing with the kids. When I say enough, that's enough.
Straight up.
Because just like Dwight was saying, we at the point in our life where we say, peace, be still.
You ain't lying.
Do not disrupt my peace. Go somewhere else with that. Because we're not gonna do that. That age, now Dwight, I know Dwight for years. And I've never known him to be the type that's gonna sit there and argue back with you.
Dwight ain't doing it. Dwight, I ain't doing it. Now, just like Dad said when he came in there, I've been there going out.
Now, just like you now, I'm not like Dwight. I wasn't like Dwight. Dwight has been like, well, I've been the fire and he's been the water. And he puts it out real quick. Because I was quick to go off. I was it's like I had to make my point across. It's like my emotions went into, oh, you think you're gonna hurt me? I'm gonna hurt you worse. I know how to come at you, you know. But as I got older, I started looking at things like, what did that solve? When you start nothing. Exactly. But then when you start realizing, dog, if I wasn't acting like emotional, if I had control of my emotions, I wouldn't be having these anxiety attacks. I wouldn't be having these migraines. I wouldn't be having a heart attack. I wouldn't have had a stroke. And you got to look at it because I don't know too much about it, just like I didn't know too much about dementia. But aneurysms, I am curious what leads up to that, because from what I was told, that's like a vein that explodes.
It
But
does.
that's a lot of pressure to cause that. So
It,
not regulating your emotion, is that what leads to that?
it depends, Spicy, because it could have some, because see, that's how, my mom, that's how she passed from that. But my mom wasn't really much of that emotional person. That's where I got most of my comments from her. Now, she had, I think maybe throughout the years she might have been a certain way, because I don't have high blood pressure. My
Mhm.
mom did, other people in my family. I never, because I always tell people you have to control that, because all that yelling and screaming, and that has a lot to do with, because it can bust a blood vessel in your body, just anywhere. Because when you get so emotional and you yelling and the heart rate going up, a lot of people lose their life because of that. That's why I would tell people, hey, stay calm.
Exactly. Because
It's
I know
not.
my loved one, she used to work in the operating room next to the surgeon.
Hmm.
And she actually had 2 aneurysms before she actually
Yeah.
didn't recover from them.
Hmm.
And you have to look at, we don't realize how much stress and pressure in the operating room that goes on.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I feel like the stress of her being in there, the pressure from it
It's
all,
a lot of stress.
it
That's a lot of
caused
stress
it.
on that. Yeah, that's a lot of stress being in those operating rooms and dealing with life and death, and people coming there with life and death. So that's why I always tell people, you gotta find some way to release that stress, control those emotions, because that is just as dangerous as anything else. If you let your emotions get to you, it can lead you to a lot of things, even death.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's go over to this here. We got some key aspects of emotional regulation. Awareness, recognizing and accurately identifying your emotions is the first step. Adaptability, being able to adapt your emotional response to different situations. Control, influencing which emotions you experience when you feel them and how you express them. Now, the healthy expressions, expressing emotions in a way that is socially tolerable and not harmful to you.
Mm.
Des,
Mm.
what is
Mm.
your feeling on that there? And then I'm gonna go to the next one. I'm gonna let each one of y'all speak on each one of this up here.
Well, no, I agree. Because you have to find some type of way to be able to just have that woosah moment. Because I used to, like, I even to this day I still kind of have like PTSD whenever police come around me from when I was shot. And I,
Mhm.
Mm.
like, literally, and what it'll do, and I mean, like, literally, it puts me automatically into a state of a state of anxiety, and I have to literally calm myself down, breathe. I have to just try to think of something other than the fact that this police officer is riding behind me, or even if I'm sometimes just in the presence of a police officer. Yeah,
Mm.
and I find myself having to literally breathe, because what it'll do, it'll start giving me, I'll start getting the feeling of, it'll start giving me that migraine headache, because the stress is just so overwhelming. So I will agree with that. You do have to have some type of way that you can literally talk yourself out of that emotional roller coaster, in order to have then a healthy moment in time. Because, like Mr. Dwight said, that can cause aneurysms and things like that. So you have to be able to do some of those things, and you have to know how to control. You have to know how to control it.
Mm. That's right.
Exactly. And K. Marie says, I'm learning right now how emotions from grief can affect you. Those emotions are hard to navigate. Yes, they are. And some people suffer from heart attacks from losing a lost one
Yeah.
because they couldn't handle the
Yeah.
emotions
Yeah. The
behind
loss.
that
Yeah.
absentee.
Mm.
Hmm.
I can agree with her on that. It is hard. And that's why we say make sure you seek help.
Mm. Yeah.
Now, benefits of a strong emotional regulation: improve mental health, reduces the risk of anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. Healthier relationships, fosters better communication, empathy, and understanding with others. Better decision making, helps individuals avoid impulsive reactions and make more thoughtful choices.
That's just correct.
Let me see, I gotta move this banner to see the rest of this. Great resilience enhances the ability to cope with stress and adapt to difficult situations.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we're gonna get that one to Dwight.
You know what, Spice? I'm gonna say this before I get on that one. About the first one we talked about the emotions.
Yeah,
I had a best friend. He was a dear friend of mine, and when he lost his when he was trying to get back to his ex-wife, he wanted to I mean, I didn't say, but they was about to be divorced and got married, but he loved this woman so much that he was so caught up in his emotions that he didn't know what to do, and I got him help. He went back home to his dad. I forgot where his dad was living at, somewhere in Texas, but he stayed in Texas, but I forgot the town that he stayed in. So during that time when he was going all through these emotions, he lost weight, he was losing his hair, he was just a wreck. So when he finally got the help, he came back, and everybody think he was okay because he was always a person with positive energy and laughing. And I said, okay, he finally getting back to his old self. He was just enjoying himself, and we was out having a good time. I got a call that Sunday morning, and I got a call from one of his other best friends because they was roommating, and he just came out and told me. He said he's gone, and I'm like, what do you mean? He said, man, Ron is gone. I said, what are you talking about? He said, I woke up this morning, I was going to say, hey man, let's go eat breakfast. And I went in the room, and he wouldn't answer me, and I touched him, and his skin was cold, and he passed, and I was in shock. I mean, it just threw me because I'm like, what the H happened? I mean, he was doing good. He was his friend and the other people was saying, on the side, that he just couldn't get over his ex-wife. He was so emotional about her.
Oh wow!
And he died from a broken heart.
Wow.
He actually died from a broken heart. And I told his Roy, I said, Roy, you can't. I said, I understand, but Roy was so mad because he felt like, well, only if she would have gave him a chance. He's a good man, and she just didn't. I said, okay, I get that, but it's hard because you're trying to put that on her shoulder. She felt bad too. She was crying because that's something that she didn't want to happen. She didn't want that to happen, and she was crying. And it was just a sad situation. He actually died of a broken heart. He wanted this woman so bad that he just actually couldn't live without her.
That's
Why,
very sad. That's
it's sad.
hurtful. Yeah.
And I tell
I
people,
mean, that's true because I remember this one guy, what had happened, I think his daughter went for a dental surgery.
right.
I think she was about 5 or 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And that was his only girl. That was his heart. You can tell that was his baby.
Right.
And they gave her too much, I think it's too much medicine when she
Right.
put her to sleep. And she
Right.
eventually passed away. And then a month later, he was gone. He took it so hard.
Yeah. People take it hard. They take the loss of someone so hard that they literally pass away because they can't deal with their emotional stress and everything.
Yeah.
That's why you find a lot of times you find like when couples have been together for so long and one of them passes away, not too long after that, the other one will pass away because they don't have that, that every day that they used to.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna go over to symbolic. We go to this one here. Factors influencing emotional regulation. Genetics and brain structure. Same individuals may have biological predispositions that affect emotional regulation. Early childhood experiences, caregiver relationships, and emotional neglect during childhood can significantly impact the development of these skills. The environment. The people, objects, and overall environment can influence the activation of emotional regulation goals. Symbolic. What goes through your mind when you hear this here?
Yeah, I truly agree with that because like I had said earlier, like there's certain things that our parents is supposed to teach us, but
Mhm.
they emotionally neglect us, then naturally we won't know what emotions are and how to deal with them, or even how to feel them, because that's what I learned. Like, um, I didn't know how to feel my emotions, right? And I
Mhm.
ran from them because, if I don't know how to handle them, it's easier for me not to deal with them, right? But then when you have to deal with them, because you, like I say, you have to deal with them in order for you to heal, right?
Mhm.
But if you were never taught that, it makes it kind of difficult, and then it do make
Mhm.
it hard for you to be able to thrive in relationships because you can't handle your emotions, right? And you continue to run from them. So then it's like, how are you? Because naturally, when you in a relationship with somebody, it's give and take, right? But if a person is always like giving you their 100 and you can't give them back because you got a wall up because emotionally you just not available, then that's gonna be an issue, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
So this last one, strategies for improving emotional regulation. Mindfulness, practicing present moment awareness to observe emotions without judgment. Cognitive, I can't even get my spelling together today. Reappraisal, rethinking or reframing situations to change your emotional response. Self talk, that's what Des was just mentioning earlier. Self talk, using mental reminders or internal dialogue to manage feelings. Healthy lifestyle, ensuring adequate sleep and physical exercise can support stability.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can jump on that one.
It's true. Exercise and other things such that the thing about it, Spicy, that's why I tell people because everybody have a certain story in their life. Most people, some people are more emotional, but when you find an outlet of doing some exercise is very important. Breathing exercises. One thing about me when I was young, I went to one thing to help me control our emotion besides me, watching Mrs. Spock at church and doing things such as me doing the martial arts and the breathing techniques, exercising on a regular basis. Not saying that you going in there to try to look like some big bodybuilder or something, but certain things as that can really help you. And stretching and breathing exercises are very important because it can help relax you from all that stress and emotions that you go through on a daily basis. It's very important. Other people find other ways to help cope with their emotions. If it's bad, then it's just going to make it worse. You got to think of ways, healthy ways, that's going to help your mind and your body. That way, you can cope with some of those daily emotions. Because if not, like I said, it's going to get at you. It can cause a lot of damage to the body.
Mhm.
Stress and emotion, that's a bad combination that can lead a lot of people to the grave early before their time is really up. So you just gotta take care of yourself the best way you can, and have yourself around a lot of people, good-hearted people. Have your good group of people around you. They'll definitely help you when you're going through certain type of emotions and everything like that. So I hear some music playing. Okay, hey y'all, don't y'all go nowhere, and the rest of us will be back in 2 and 2. Don't go nowhere.
Once you learn how to master and control your emotions, your life is going to become so much more peaceful. I feel like sometimes we put ourselves in situations that we could have easily avoided by opening our mouths and speaking on things that we should have stayed silent about. You have to learn how to react less. And it's going to be hard not speaking on certain situations, but understanding that every action does not deserve a reaction is top tier mentality. And you're going to gain so much peace from that. And peace is power.
The club isn't the best place to stop a lover, so the gym is where I go.
All right, all right. We want to take this moment to show appreciation and thank everyone on both pages of Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Rumble. Make sure y'all go over there to Rumble to subscribe. They are the newest platform that we have now. We are expanding the platform as we go so that it can be broadening our horizons and doing what we're doing to get that word out there to help everybody else out there as well. Make sure you tune in next Friday as Grown Man Talking Incorporated comes back to your screens with One Night versus One Wife. Hey, you never know how these men's going to bring it, but I'm telling you straight up, it is going to keep you hanging on the edge. So make sure you got those notifications going. Also, Miss Keisha, our co-host, is going to be returning to educate everyone on why am I not the magnet? I know a lot of us ladies have asked that question because I know I did. Why am I not the magnet? So make sure you tune in because it's going to be very interesting.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch that show. I'm gonna definitely watch that.
Make sure y'all call in because I mean y'all see that number going down below. Hey, we got a different connection for the phone line now. So hey, call in with your comments, your questions, whatever. So, we appreciate everyone in the comments. Thank y'all for tuning in as well. You just don't know, I love each one of y'all. The love and support, the dedication, the time you take out for not just the gentlemen, but also for us as well, the women, and all is one. So just make sure y'all also keep your notifications going because Domestic Violence Month is coming. And we have 3 ladies that's going to be breaking their silence from domestic abuse. So Dwight, what is your feeling on that piece we just seen?
He's right. I mean, peace of mind, peace, period, is gold. I mean, you just have to, it's nothing like it in the world that they can have peace and not being in all these different types of emotions, and emotion cause, all this anger and drama, and I believe you shorten your days when you just so negative with different bad emotions. You just shorten your life, but you work on being a better person, and you work on that part where you could be at peace, and that's the goal. That's the goal we're looking for. It don't have to be just because you're getting older. I mean, because all young people, they looking for peace too. They don't want to be in all these different types of emotions, and just separate yourself from those people that give up these bad emotions. Get away from that type of thing. Hang around some good people with some good head on their shoulders that can give you some advice, and just find an outlet that can help you can control your emotions and their stress. But I really agree with the young man in that video. He was right. He's right. He's on point.
And Mr. Dez.
Oh yeah, I agree with him 100% on that. Not every action deserves or is worthy of a reaction. Sometimes, like I said, you gotta, okay, yeah, whatever, it's the old saying, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say bounces off me and sticks on you. You have to, you can't let, sometimes you just can't let people get inside your head like that. And I say that because, I've had that problem before where I would actually pay attention to someone that's, being negative towards me and taking that negativity and taking it to heart. And it turns into a problem because I started festering on it, festering. They said this about you. They said this, they said that, not realizing that they was just projecting, because all they was doing, all they were doing was just projecting all of the negative thoughts that they had about themselves onto me. And I was allowing them to get away with it. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you just got to hit the mute button on people. Sometimes you got to hit that mute button on them.
Yep.
Yes, I hear you. Definitely. And Dwight.
I thought you already got me, Spicy.
Yeah.
She did.
She did.
Okay.
You started with him.
You started with me, Spicy.
I just gonna throw me under the bus just like that. I'm gonna have to regulate that emotion right there.
That's because we love you and we want you to be the best
I
you.
wait for her to call symbolic. I said, when she said me, I said, wait a minute, I was part. She got me already.
But we're gonna go to symbolic. What was your ideas and your thoughts when you saw the video?
I agree with what Daz was saying. Basically, peace, right? And some of us give our peace away, so freely, right? We are letting people live rent free in our heads, and
Mm,
you're so worried what somebody else thinks about us and what somebody else said about us that we always want to counter it with something else. But it's like, no, choose peace. It's
That part.
simple, free. The world
yep.
didn't give it to you, so they can't take it away from you.
Mhm.
Love. Well said. Well said. I love
Yeah.
that. Love that. So I'm trying to get it off of her. He wouldn't leave. He wanted to stay on the symbolic. Yeah, this has been very insightful. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I don't know about y'all, but I really enjoyed this topic here. Me and Des, we sat on the phone just going back, and it's weird. Like when you get to talking about certain things, and it's not intentional, but as soon as we would say certain, he was just like, "That'll make a good topic." And I was
See
like,
that?
"You know what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah.
So
Hey, that's just that creativity. That's all. That's creation comes from the creator. I can't take
right,
credit for that.
yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all give a nutrition for the night. So we'll start with symbolic. What is the word that you would like to leave for the world to know when it comes down to regulating your emotions? Give us
Uh,
something fruitful, Miss Lady.
just like I just said, man. Stop letting people live rent free in your head, man.
Mhm.
Mortgages cost too much. We work too hard to pay our bills. Stop letting people live rent free in your.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that my thing is like this: if you're gonna be in my head, you gotta pay a fee. It's mortgage time.
Yes. Say something. Yeah, yeah.
And Mr. Dwight.
I agree with somebody say, you just have to, with these people with these different types of emotions and stuff, don't let them, just don't let them get to you, learn to just deflect them and don't let anybody take you out your comfort zone. That's one thing I thank God for. I thank God for me to can control my emotions. Because a lot of people try to get me out. I'm not perfect. I ain't saying I ain't never really lost it or nothing like that, but it's really hard for you. You got to do something drastic, and I'm talking about real drastic to get me out that zone and everything. But you just hit that mute button just like Dad said, keep them out of there. And for those people that really want to know, look at Star Trek and watch my boy Mr.
Oh
Spock. He's
Lord have
a good
mercy.
teacher. Look at
No,
that
he
show.
did not give the finger signal.
I sure did.
Des, bring it
Right.
to us. Bring it to us.
Well, if I one word, I would say peace. Remember, peace is what you need in your life. And when it comes to your emotions, I know it's easier said than done, to regulating emotions. It's easier said than done. But like everybody on the panel was saying, and like Symbolic was saying, don't let people live rent free. Don't let
That
them live rent free in your mind. You have to really think about sometimes what people say about you is not always a reflection of who you are. Most of the times, it's a reflection of who they are.
Mm. Say it.
Mhm.
Say that again. One
Good
more
one.
time.
I like that.
you know, Most of the time, the thoughts that people have about you are not direct of you. Oh Lord, I forgot what I said that quick,
Oh
but
yeah.
it don't mind. Y'all heard me. Y'all heard
I,
me.
hey, I
They
heard
it
you
ain't you. It ain't you that they talking about. They talking about they self.
themselves. That part.
Because
That
That part.
part.
a
That
That
lot
part.
of
part.
see what it is,
Yeah.
and what that is just the simple fact. A lot of times when some people see something bad about you, it's because they see that same characteristic within themselves. They just don't want to
Mm,
face it, so they have to
mm,
project that off onto you. And
Well,
don't let them do that to you. Don't let them give you their negative baggage.
that's right.
Leave it at the check and claim. Don't let them live. Don't let them live rent free. Just tell them, like I just remember this saying. I'm going to need you to redirect your transgressions in the direction of the individual that you actually have the problem with, because it's not me.
That part.
Yeah, that part right there.
This has been really good, really good. Thank you for the viewers in the comments. I really appreciate it. You know, Symbolic, thank you so much. Without hesitation, if you don't put my food down. Without hesitation.
Come down now. Don't let them
Regulate that emotion. Regulate that emotion.
Hey, look at this. Look at this now. Wash the hand now.
I do this. You don't mess with mama's food, especially when she looking for
boy, see that? Black folks, look, black people get emotional with that food, but boy, I know you ain't touching my plate.
Yeah, my daughter love my niece made some of chicken shrimp Alfredo by scratching. Don't touch my food.
No, not the shrimp Alfredo.
Run! They made it by scratch. You gonna grab my food and act like you? No, we ain't doing that. Not today.
That's long way to get your emotion up high. Don't play with my food, man.
But I want to say it's always a pleasure having you on, Symbolic. We thank you so much for joining in with us. And you've been so enlightening today. You gave some powerful words, enlightenment. You know, everyone has gave a great word today, something to leave a mark for everyone to remember. You know, and just like I said, real talk, real life situation. It is what it is. But, you know, make sure y'all tune in next week. We will be back. I mean, tell you, I miss y'all so much. But hey, and, you know, like I said, the other cast, please keep them up in your prayers. You know, right now, life is life. And we just got to stand in prayer until the storm passes by. But I love each and one of y'all. I mean, if the heart I don't say nothing I don't mean. If I don't mean it, I ain't going to say it, bottom line. But the word for you is, if you love yourself enough, don't just say it. Show it. And when you show it, meaning that you don't allow anything to poison your mind, your emotions, and your walk. So until next time, have a great week. Be blessed. And much love from all of us.
Bye-bye.